Yeah, hello guys. Today we are going to discuss the hormones, okay, which are hormones are involved in the urine formation. Okay, what are the hormones? This is the most important class for NEET. Okay, there might be question coming from this question. If they want a difficult question, this is the difficulty chapter about hormones influence of osmoregulation, where the urine which is formed. Okay, what are the hormones? We are going to discuss very simplified. Okay, yes. So the hormones are here. First hormone aldosterone. Aldosterone. What is the role of aldosterone? And second one is like ADH, antidiuretic hormone. Third one is ANF. Okay, aldosterone, which is produced from adrenal cortex, ADH, which is produced hypothalamus, and ANF, which is produced from the right atria of the heart. Right atria of heart. Okay, these hormones, how they can affect in the urine formation, we are going to discuss today class. Yes, what is aldosterone role? Aldosterone role in the urine formation. Urine formation, which is, this is the nephron, efferent arteriole, nephron will going to, this is DCT of the nephron, this is PCT, Henle loop, DCT, and this is efferent arteriole, Guys, the urine formation, which is the filter, glomerular filtration is the first step of the urine formation. This is the glomerular filtration, 125 ml per minute. 125 ml is the glomerular filtration. If it is decreased, if water intake low, if the water intake low, there is a filtration per minute is decrease. The filtration, glomerular filtration, per minute will decrease which is less than 125 ml per minute. So blood pressure will decrease. Blood pressure will decrease. In this condition, what happened? So if the decrease of this filtration will decrease below the 125 ml, there is the DCT part and efferent arteriole together to form JGA apparatus. JG cells of efferent arteriole and macula densa of the DCT, together to create a JGA apparatus. That is JGA will release of the hormone which is renin. Renin hormone which is produced by JGA apparatus. JGA apparatus are the DCT part which is macula densa. They can recognize there is a low amount of sodium. How they can recognize? Mean if the blood pressure decrease, here, there is a solution which is enter very low, very slowly they enter into the PCT part. So PCT part there is high amount of reabsorption of sodium ions. If the high amount of reabsorption in the PCT part going to take place, there is a lack of sodium ions in the DCT part. There is low amount of Na ions. So in this condition, the macula densa, there are cells, they can receptors of sodium, they can recognize there is a lack of sodium ions in the DCT part, and there is a efferent arteriole, there are JG cells together to form renin. Renin can activate on liver. Okay. Renin, they act on liver. There is a glycoprotein which is we can call angiotensinogen. Angiotensinogen converted into the angiotensin 1. This is angiotensinogen converted into the angiotensin 1. In the presence of renin, renin can act an angiotensinogen converted into the angiotensin. Angiotensinogen is inactive form, nogen mean inactive, converted into the angiotensin. Okay, this angiotensin, they enter into the lungs lungs, in the lungs there is a enzyme called ACE enzyme, angiotensin convertase enzyme, angiotensin convertase enzyme. This is the angiotensin convertase enzyme that can be convert angiotensin 1 into the angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2. This is the active form. Angiotensin 2 is the active form, which is angiotensin ACE, angiotensin 1 converted into the angiotensin 2, that can be actin kidney, adrenal gland. There is a gland above the kidney is adrenal gland. This angiotensin 2 is actin adrenal cortex to release aldosterone. In the adrenal cortex. Aldosterone. This is the hormone which can be actin. This aldosterone, this is the hormone which can be actin the DCT part and collecting duct. Actin, DCT part and collecting duct. This aldosterone which is actin, DCT part and collecting duct, for the sodium reabsorption is more. For sodium reabsorption is more. More intake, like sodium reabsorption is more in the DCT part. So what happened? Okay, yeah, here I am going to write aldosterone actin DCT part and collecting duct. Okay, if they act on DCT part and collecting duct, there is a sodium reabsorption increase. If the sodium reabsorption increase, GFR will increase. GFR will increase. Blood pressure also will increase. But here the urine formation will decrease. Urine volume will decrease. These are actions going to take place by aldosterone. Aldosterone, guys, listen carefully. If the blood pressure decrease, glomerular filtration rate will decrease. In this condition, sodium reabsorption is going to take place in the PCT part. If the PCT part, more reabsorption of sodium leads to in the DCT part, there is a low amount of sodium. If the DCT part there is low amount of sodium, that will be recognized by the cells which is DCT part cells, macula densa and efferent arteriole JG apparatus together to release renin. Together they release renin. The renin act on liver. There is a protein which is angiotensinogen. Angiotensinogen in the matters of renin converted into the angiotensin 1. This is the angiotensin 1. Finally, they can reach lungs. In the lungs, there is a enzyme called angiotensin convertase enzyme. Angiotensin convertase enzyme in the lungs. That is, angiotensin 1 is converted into the angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2 is the active form. Active form, they can act on this. They can act on the adrenal gland which is located above the kidney, adrenal gland. Adrenal gland, they can release aldosterone. Adrenal gland, they can release aldosterone in the matter of angiotensin 2. Okay, if the aldosterone release, they can act on DCT part and collecting duct, act on for more reabsorption of sodium in the DCT part segment and collecting duct. There is a peritubular capillary vena into the blood. There is a huge amount of sodium intake. If the sodium intake huge, there is a vasodilator of the ACT. Act on this efferent arteriole, size will increase. There is a blood pressure will increase. If the blood pressure will increase, there is a GFR rate will also increase. So, aldosterone action, sodium reabsorption will increase, blood pressure will increase, GFR will increase and urine volume decrease. If the sodium intake, there is a reabsorption is going to take place, urine volume just decrease. Okay, this is about aldosterone. This is about aldosterone. I hope you guys understand. Yeah, if come to the, this is aldosterone is completed, adrenal cortex, they can release aldosterone, release adrenal cortex. If what is ADH? What is ADH? What is ADH? Okay, what is the role of ADH? Okay, we are going to discuss what is the role of ADH. ADH, antidiuretic hormone, antidiuretic hormone. If sodium reabsorption is increased, sodium reabsorption is increased, in that condition GFR rate will increase, GFR rate will increase, just blood pressure will also increase. In this condition, there is a glomerular filtration will increase more than 125 ml per minute is increase if the aldosterone act on. In this condition, there is a brain, our brain, there is a thalamus, hypothalamus recognize there is a sodium volume increase. Okay, hypothalamus. Hypothalamus, they release ADH hormone, ADH hormone. ADH hormone act on DCT and collecting duct. And collecting duct. If the ADH act on DCT and collecting duct, there is a aquaporins open opens in the collecting duct. If aquaporins open, water reabsorption takes place in collecting duct. If the water reabsorption takes place, what happened? In the collecting duct, water reabsorption takes place. What happened? There is a urine volume decrease. Urine volume decrease. Urine volume decrease, and there is a dilution of the concentration of sodium in the DCT and collecting duct. So blood pressure will decrease. So GFR will decrease. So there is actually, if the urine volume decrease, there is a water intake is going to take place in the collecting duct. There is a water retention is going to take place in the blood. Water replace is going to take place in the blood. Okay, blood pressure will increase, guys. Blood pressure will increase. Okay, if the blood pressure will increase, there is a glomerular filtration rate also will increase. Okay, I hope you guys understand. What happened if the ADH hormone, what happened? Okay, yes, this is here, just look into here, urine volume decrease. If the urine volume decrease in the both places, there is a volume of blood flow increase. In this condition, if urine volume decrease, the blood flow volume increase. Blood volume is increase. Blood volume is increase. If the blood volume increase, there is a heart. In the heart, there is a right atria. There is a blood flow increase in the right atria. Okay, blood flow will increase in the right atria. if the blood flow increase in the right atria, there is a hormone which is released in the right atria is called ANF. ANF hormone release in the right atria. ANF hormones release in the right atria. Okay. ANF hormone is actually going to increase the GFR, and they can regulate this collecting duct, and the DCT part will urine will increase. Urine volume will increase if the ANF release. Okay, ANF is opposite to the RAS. ANF is the opposite to the RAS. RAS means renin, aldosterone and angiotensin aldosterone system. Renin, aldosterone, angiotensin system. Renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system is the RAS. If the RAS activate, there is a urine volume decrease. If the ANF activate, urine volume will increase. So RAS and ANF is opposite in nature. Okay, they are opposite in nature, antagonistic hormones, RAS and ANF. Okay, I hope you guys understand. Yeah, hello guys, today we are completed the hormonal influence in the urine formation, where the aldosterone, where ANF, where is ADH is act and the DCT part of nephron, and there is a urine volume will decrease or increase based on these hormones. Okay, tomorrow we are going to meet with the another important topic. This is the NEET world. We are providing online and offline courses. Online courses are this, which is 3,000 rupees per month. We will provide you material and exams and online all concepts in the NEET. Okay, offline, this is the branch from the Narayanaguda. We will provide you complete long-term batch courses. Okay, I hope you guys understand this. If you like this, you can like this 100 concept session, and you can share the information for your friends. I hope you guys understand. Thank you.